I'd supported Harlequins as a boy. I grew up very close to where we train now. I grew up just south of Guildford. Mum and Dad are still there, and I played for Hazelmere, who are one of the affiliate clubs. And the way it worked back there is there were trials. There used to be open trials in the summer to come be part of the squad for Quins under-19s and under-21s. And I went to a trial before going into my upper sixth at school, and didn't necessarily expect to get through, just went and gave it a go. And Colin Osborne was the man running it, obviously another guy who's still around. And to my sort of great surprise, and obviously a lot of joy, I got an opportunity and then played in my last year at school, applied to university, was expecting to take a gap year and go off and read English literature. And then on a wet February night in 2003, Colin pulled me to one side and said, "Do you want a year's contract in the academy?" And obviously, pretty simple answer. And it's kind of gone from there, really. You look to the successful games we've had, the things which won us trophies. The Premiership was, the day we won the Premiership final was just an amazing experience from start to finish. Walking over the final itself, I was on the bench, actually didn't get on, but to be part of it and then go back to the stoop and have all the crowd there out on the pitch was very special. From purely a game point of view, it was the year we won the Prem where we'd won 14 games on the spin, and then we went to the Heineken Cup and we had a double header against Toulouse, and we played them at the stoop and they hammered us, really. They beat us fairly convincingly, and everyone said, okay, well, Quins aren't as good as we thought they were, and they've burst the bubble, etc. And then the next week we had the return fixture. We went over to France, and I was lucky enough to play in that. I think they'd won something like 35 consecutive games in that stadium, and we went over there and won that week. That's very much one of my fondest memories. And then actually the year after we won the Premiership, when we won the LV Cup, and there was a group of us, myself, Tom Guest, Tom Williams, Cole Dixon, who played a lot during that campaign, and it's probably as much as I've ever enjoyed a run of games. We played brilliantly in the semi-final, and then the final, it's probably the most enjoyable change room I've ever been in before the game. There was just a great atmosphere. We went out, we were, a half and half team, people would say on paper, against Sale's full strength side. But in the change room before, the boys weren't, not in an arrogant way, but just really confident. This is great, let's just go out and do this. We're really confident we can perform. Put in a brilliant performance and beat Sale really convincingly. So that's a really happy memory for me. So they'd be the two that really stick out. Controversial. I'm going to get in trouble for these answers. There's a huge amount of guys who I'd consider very close friends for life. And again, that's something I'm really grateful for. Two guys that spring to mind that have now retired and no longer at the club would be Will Skinner and Ollie Cohn. I have to say them because they were both best men at my wedding. Skins has now moved on abroad, but he was a massive part of the club captain. We sort of clicked and got on immediately from when he joined from Leicester. And Ollie Cohn was, spent a lot of time with his shoulder on my bum in the scrum, but was also my roommate on away trips for 4 or 5 years, and obviously a lot of good times socially on nights out as well. There's loads of other guys as well, but I think those two are probably the two that stick out. I remember us playing Biarritz away, actually, and it was horrific conditions. We won over there. It almost got called off because the pitch was waterlogged, and myself, Joe Marler, George Lowe went out to warm up, and I think everyone thought we were, warming up our hands, whatever, and actually we were just trying to throw a ball in a puddle to get the other one wet. And we had a moment where we stopped and we were like, okay, we need to actually stop doing this, because this is we're about to play a Heineken Cup match here, and we're just there giggling, like splashing each other with puddles. So there's a lot of stupid things and a lot of moments that I remember very fondly. Yeah.